Good afternoon on what is a bright, cloudy but mild day. I'm in the reading nook with another hot cup of tea. A nice hot cup of tea. And a parcel to unbox. So let's get to it. Okay, and inside what we have is this, which, obviously this is my copy. What we've got is the Long Con, which is a scenario for Trail of Cthulhu. Came out a few years ago, and in it, it is published by Innsmouth House Press. I should just show you at the back here. The publishing arm of the website yogsothoth.com, which is essentially the premier website for Call of Cthulhu and associated games and Lovecraftian fiction, that sort of thing. And we've also got maps of St Paul's Cathedral and London, and basically a Long Con, essentially a handout sheet. And this is written by Adam Gauntlet, whom you may well know as author of other scenarios for Trail of Cthulhu, which is published by Pelgrane Press. If you've not seen any of this, then I at least recommend you go and look at a scenario called The Man Downstairs, available on the Miskatonic repository. It's very good. It's a great addition to any campaign running New York, or in particular Harlem. Now, interesting thing is that this is a scenario essentially about running a con game, and the thing is, you have the Long Con, and the actual scenario is basically presented physically as long rather than upright, i.e. it's in landscape format rather than portrait. So not that, but that. So it is long, and when you open it up, because it's obviously spiral bound, it's going to sort of like sit like that, which is fine, but it is an odd format in general for role-playing games. Role-playing games generally don't adhere to that because it's difficult for them to be stored or sit on the shelf. The most recent one to do that was the John Carter of Mars role-playing game from Mediphius Entertainment. And everyone went, that's nice, but a bit odd. Nevertheless, so what we get into, and here's the thing, we have, this is the second scenario publication from Innsmouth House Press, and it opens up with Paul McLean saying, I can hear the cause already. Why in the name of Cthulhu did you produce a scenario in landscape format? Indeed, why? Like our first scenario publication, Many Deaths of Edward Bigby, I want to produce something a little off the beaten track and explore a different presentation format for a scenario publication. The panoramic effect of the double-page landscape format would provide some of that at least, along with perhaps additional benefits or issues. Here we have this introduction, stamp, and obviously this is a limited number, because it's got a limited release, and then we get into the hook, so it does also like that as well. That makes it a bit easier to handle, and essentially Sidney Price wants their help to set up a big score, to sucker a rich American into thinking he's buying into a burnt auction. The rewards Price promises are incalculable, but soon after Price enlists their help, strange bird creatures haunt the protagonists. How, they wonder, does Japanese folklore figure into this? So we, being for Trail of Cthulhu, obviously a clue-orientated role-playing, you have essentially the guidance for the characters, the investigators using their particular abilities and saying, if you use this, this is what you get. You know, so using occult or knowledge gets them this. A 1-point library use clue gets them that. So essentially, because this is a con game, this is really a scenario for characters on essentially near or on the other side of the law. Crooks, con men, shysters, that sort of thing. And in here, essentially, this is a guide. As much as this is this scenario, this is also a sort of a semi-guide on how to run this. Now, obviously, apart from the cover by Chris Lackey, it's fairly light on artwork itself, really just using a lot of public available content. Not necessarily this is quite open and neatly organised and easy to read. Then we get to the NPCs. So that's Sidney Price himself, and I don't recognise the actor that has been used there, but that sure as hell looks like Vincent Price. So yes, it actually says in all photographs, he greatly resembles Vincent Price, whose theatre career began in 1935. The first film was 1938. It's just a coincidence. So yeah, encountering monsters like ghouls, and then Tengu tempests. So Tengu are the sparrow spirits from Japanese myth, but there are a bit more in here than that. Again, it's actually fairly open, easy to read style, but not a lot to break it up. And quite a lot of details on the various creatures. And then, let's see what else we've got. Okay. Then more of these creatures and so on, for the most part, threats and enemies. So not necessarily a great deal to see in here. Let's see what I'm going to leaf through a bit further. We have also covered in here is the since we've got the long con, we also have the other reverse of it. We've got the long arm of the law. So stats for Detective Inspector Howard, typical policeman, you know, as in hello, what's going on here then, and ready to blow his whistle, and react to the characters, and then we've got the con playing out, and perhaps the player characters being arrested for the investigators or the protagonists being arrested for their crimes. And then we've got maps of so you can just see it, St Paul's Cathedral, and more. Let's say not necessarily an easy thing to actually handle with any ease, but it does end with some playtest notes, and credits as well, picture credits and writing credits as well. They're all there, so on. And essentially, setup of this, Sidney Price wants the protagonist's help to set up a big store to sucker a rich American into thinking he's buying into a burnt orchard. The rewards Price promises are incalculable, but soon after, Price enlists their help. Strange bird-like creatures haunt the pregnant who, so it's essentially, you know, does the Japanese folklore figure into it. So yeah, that is the long con. Seem to have a date from this. 2015. From Innsmouth House Press. Probably one of the rarer scenarios you can find for Trail of Cthulhu, or indeed any Lovecraftian investigative role playing, since you really had to be a member of the website and knew that was coming out. So I suspect this will very much be in the hands of collectors and will come up fairly rarely, I would imagine. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed basically me doing an unboxing and showing this off. If you have, then please do click that like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, appreciate you take the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me essentially with a package and a book or a game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do hit that subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching, and we'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.